Good evening, I'm Cheryl from Orb Coaching. I offer three primary coaching services: business, life, neurolanguage coaching. The neurolanguage coaching is focused on business professional English, and I have a niche market. I've developed it in that way because this is how my clients would benefit from this particular type of service. So last week I uploaded two videos. I think it was last week, yes, and I gave some examples of a case study which touched on business and life coaching, and I had to split a session into two with the clients. Today I'm going to give you some sort of insight into a business coaching session, so a case study on business coaching, which I engaged in last Friday. So very, very recent. As I said last week, I will be really working on recent clients, recent and current situations, and I'll try to keep the videos as concise as possible so that you don't get bored, but that I can maybe bring some insight and help to you. So I'm doing this on the fly. I wanted to do this Friday, didn't have the chance, and yesterday I wanted to do it but needed to meet someone urgently. It is Sunday here in Malta. It's 20 to 5 in the evening and I need to do it. So here I am, and I hope you're all having a nice weekend wherever you are in the world. So this client, one of my clients of last Friday, works for an IT company. To give you a bit of a background, many of you might already know that IT companies around the world are currently reducing their headcount. It is 30th of October 2022. This has begun, and in many companies they're reducing the headcount even more than that, and several companies are having many restructuring programs going on as well. We have to keep adapting to this, and we have to keep moving with this and remain as focused as we can. So let's go back to my client. The client works for an IT company. He's in a top management position. His headcount within his team was affected last week. Or what this means in reality is that all existing tasks, all existing projects, all existing targets need to be, that work still needs to be done, and therefore the current overheads or staff that remain, including my client, have to absorb those duties and tasks of the headcounts that have been let off, unfortunately. So my client was in a situation last week that he was very, very caught up in all of these changes, all of these moments, having to attend a lot of meetings while still trying to juggle completing tasks, getting projects moving along, make sure they're still going on, etc., etc. The one thing that he wanted from this coaching session on this previous Friday was how to tackle a new scenario that's come up for him, and that's what we focused on. The new scenario being that he wanted to help a business partner across the pond as well. My client has the expertise and the specialized skills to be able to offer a helping hand to the business partners across the pond. And he really wanted to do it, but had no idea when, where, or how this was actually physically or mentally possible, but felt torn. I had to, during this session, bring in some other sort of coaching tools. So I needed to bring in the priority matrix to remind him to use the priority matrix, which we did this exercise mentally. And I also asked if I could summarize where we were at that stage. So I summarized what his priorities were at that time in this fresh new session. I also asked a permission question, like if I could bring forward a priority that I had from the previous week, to which of course he said yes. And I asked him to confirm for me if it was still important. And the priority that had come up the previous session was that he himself, in his position, needs to be visible. He needs to be present. All the projects, any work that he's involved in needs visibility. It needs to be seen that he is the one behind those tasks that are being successfully concluded and targets reached. I asked him again, was this a fair summarization of the previous priority, to which he obviously said yes. I asked him if he needed to add anything. He said no, not at this point. And I asked if that priority of the previous session, which was a really big thing, was still as important today. He paused for a while, thought about it, and in his honesty told me he completely forgot about that. So that's fine, that's why we're here. And to which he said, yes, visibility is still absolutely important. We continued with the coaching session. I had to keep bringing him on point because he started digressing, and I needed to bring him down and also funnel the questions so that we would get to a conclusion within the 60 minutes that we had together. I reminded him again that this session was to figure out what direction he should take with this new scenario of assisting the business partner across the pond. So yes, he gave more details. He gave me a lot of confidential information as well. The conclusion was that any work that he would do or could potentially do to help the business partners across the pond, they could claim that work as theirs. I then asked my client, how does this help you with your current priority and urgency of establishing and continuing visibility in your business sector where you are at the moment? His response was none. And in fact, he paused and he said to me, wow. And that was his aha moment. Now, you can't always achieve an aha moment in every coaching session, but this client at this moment had an aha moment. And he was already coming to the conclusion within our conversation that at this present moment he shouldn't, and these were his words, that he shouldn't be assisting any other business partners who could claim his work as theirs, because that was very, very sort of specific to the situation. However, because he's an empathic and compassionate man, he can offer a help in hand within restrictions. Okay, so he can offer support, but that he needs to put his restrictions in place and configure what time and resources he can actually really squeeze to be able to achieve this. After this aha moment, then so we're about 45 minutes into the session at this point. And I had said to him, okay, as this was an aha moment for you, would you mind if I rephrase and re-summarize where we are at this moment in the coaching session, just for clarity? So I did that with his permission, okay? And at the end of it, I asked him, is there anything you would like to add? To which he said, no, this is exactly what I wanted from today's session, and he had clarity of thought. I then went on and I said, okay, so we can almost really close off from this point if you're feeling satisfied. And he said, yes, I've got huge clarity of thought. I have to remember this gentleman's position. And obviously he had other meetings to run to after our session, but he knew exactly what he wanted to do and the next steps that he needed to do to ensure the success of this. I then asked him, I said, would you mind if I go into a little bit of like a suggestion for you here? Which he said yes. I said, okay. I said, you came in today feeling pulled in all directions. Resources are dwindling, they are shrinking, whilst the business itself is expanding, and you have to fill in these gaps. I said, now, when we came to this scenario about assisting a business partner across the pond, so I'm going to ask you another really, really key question for you to keep in mind when you're feeling pulled back into the direction of assisting them when it doesn't help your current situation. I summarized it I said this in a much shorter way. I'm elaborating because of the purpose of this video for you. And I said, I would suggest you bear in mind this question. Should I be doing this at this moment? Again, he went, wow, that is a really good question. I said, okay. I said, so your takeaway today, besides solving, so he had already told me that his takeaway was solving the scenario. I said, now I'd like you to have this tool during the next week, because we meet next Friday, that if you feel the pull to go against what your priorities are at the moment, that you remember this question and you ask this question to yourself each time. I said, write it down, write it in the front of you, put it on your PC, laptop, put it in your mobile, everywhere. Should I be doing this at the moment? I said, that will help to center you, bring you back on point, and stop your mind from digressing. I said, because now we're going into time management and the thinking process. So basically this is how the session went, and about 50 minutes in, I asked if there was anything else urgent. He didn't want to do anything else. That was enough. It's what we came in for. It's what we solved through the coaching session, and we spent the next 10 minutes talking about humorous things, which had nothing to do with that exact session, but he was laughing about particular situations that were occurring at that particular time in his professional world. Please remember that all of this is confidential. So again, I am skirting around the situation. I'm expanding a bit on certain areas for you for the sake of this video. When I'm asking questions and summarizing and reformulating, I'm really, really careful, and I really think about the question before I ask it. And I can only get to that point of thinking about the right question to ask, the key short question to ask, which would not be leading and would not be 3 questions in one. One key question that I'm able to arrive at through my active listening and the coaching conversation that I've had with the client using the tools that I'm equipped with. Okay, so yeah, this gentleman was very, very happy, and so was I. Big success, and all in under 60 minutes. Okay, and he had wasted I don't know how many hours that week pondering, ruminating, going over and over and over something that would be absolutely of no help to him and actually could go against him at that particular time, even though his intentions were in the right place. Okay, so I hope this video helped you. This is another situation of many, and I may do a video about the sort of meetup I had yesterday, because it threw me a little bit and I had to show my own vulnerabilities there, so that might be of help to you as well. But again, like I said in the last few sessions, if you need help, if you're stuck, please seek proper help is out there, and you can move forward. And we are all moving forward. Who is working hard at moving forward? Okay, I know it's really, really difficult as well. That's why it's very good to seek support and the right kind of support for you. So, any comments, anything you want to put down in the comments, you're welcome to. In this video, I tried to add a few of the coaching questions that I used, because in the last two case studies I didn't, and this one I wanted to give you a bit of an insight into, well, what does it look like, so on that note, take care of yourselves. I wish you all a lovely Sunday evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves, and thank you for listening. Bye. Ciao. Bye bye.